Today we're actually going to begin to take a look at all of the steps of Raja Yoga. Do you remember that actually the steps of Raja Yoga, and then there were 4 paths. And so one of those paths was Raja Yoga, which meant what? Look at your notes.
Scientific path.
The scientific path, which basically means intellectual path and all of that, right? So we're going to take a look at some of those, and we're actually going to take a look at the first 2 quite in depth. So the first step is yamas, and we're going to start next week really looking at the yamas, because those are restraints. Those are things that you should refrain from, restrain yourself from. Those are abstinence type things that you shouldn't do. That's what all that means. Because remember, as we move through life, we want to remember these things so that we become more successful, right? In all aspects of our life, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, so that it's a whole picture, right? We're a whole person. Okay, we're not just a body, and we're not just a brain, and we're not just a emotional being, you know, we're not just all of that, but we are all clumped together, right? And so then from there, we're going to take a look at the niyamas, which is moral observance. That's where you take a look at inside of you, the integrity of what you really are, okay? We're also going to take a look at the asana. We're actually doing the asana. I want you to notice that the paths, the steps are in order. Notice, where is asana?
3rd.
So if you went to India, you would not get on your mat until you mastered step 1 and step 2. And here in the Western world, we do it backwards. All we want to study is, all we want to do is just get on the mat and stretch our brains out, and that's it, right? That's the Western world, and that's how here in the Western world we bastardized the process of yoga, right? We have a tendency to do that here in the U.S. And the same thing goes with our food. We're bastardizing our food. In Europe, they've got more healthy food. In Europe, they have less obese people. In Europe, they have less illness. Here in the U.S., we love to do that. Why? I don't know, right? Actually, I do know. It's about money, right? Okay, and then after you've done the asana, we begin to actually look at pranayama, okay? Pranayama means the control of your breath, the vital energy, right? The vital energy that you really are. You need to understand that you are energy, and that we are all connected, and that the words we speak have an energy as well. And how powerful that energy is, that it can either make us strong or make us weak. Does that make sense? And then pratyahara, which means withdrawal of the senses. We're going to take a look at all of that, because that's kind of embedded in the yamas and the niyamas. But the withdrawal, detachment, which is really tricky to do, because we're all attached to the outcomes we want. And detaching is really tough, right? Detaching from an outcome is really tough, because we want things how we want them, when we want them, exactly as we want them, and all the time that we want them, right? And if you don't believe me, I'm a recovering Catholic, right? So when I was little, I was taught to pray like this. Dear God, please, I promise, I'm asking you, help me to get an A on this paper. I promise if you help me get an A, then I will do blah, 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 blah. That's how I was taught to pray, right? Tell me you guys didn't hear that before in your life. We beg for something we want because we want the outcome, right? Please, because we want the outcome, right? But the truth of the matter is what we need to say is, here I am, let me be a vessel of your being. I will do everything in my power to ensure that I get an A. And if it is written in the cards, and if it's your graces that you can help me, I would really appreciate an A, but I will do everything in my part. Thank you. Do you see the difference? I'm not begging. I'm not begging, right? Because then we have the other saying, and you see we're taught to pray, and then there's that saying that says, that supposedly came out of the Bible. I'm not a Bible person, so I've never read it, but supposedly, and in Spanish we say, move first and God will help you, right? So, muévete que Dios te ayudará, ¿verdad? And so we say it in Spanish, right? So, what happens is you've got to move first with faith. And that's where that non-attachment comes in. And then we have dharana, concentration of the mind. What you focus on, what you focus the mind on will expand. What you focus the mind on will come to you. If you're afraid that you're going to fall, you're going to fall. And that's not a threat. That's a promise. If you're afraid you're going to do bad on the test, guess what? You're going to do bad on the test. You got to believe without a shadow of a doubt that everything's going to be fine. And that's the hardest thing that we have, because we want it, like I said, we want to go back to the attachments that we have. Does it make sense? And then dhyana, which is meditation. The meditation. Once we realize where our focus is, when we can now come back, and we have a little taste. I leave you in meditation maybe 2 minutes. And that's hard. I can see you guys fidgeting. When we at the end of the class, when I say, we're going to sit in meditation until everybody comes up, some of you guys are like going like this. And then you right? So it's like, that's not meditation. That's complete observance of what the body wants, right? In meditation, as well as in yoga, you are basically watching all those sensations, because that's that critical voice inside your head that doesn't want you to meditate. So because he doesn't want you to, he or she or whatever it is, right, doesn't want you to meditate, he's going to draw your attention to your need. He's going to draw your attention to what somebody else is doing. You're going to have your attention drawn away at something stuck in your teeth, right? You're going to draw, whatever it is, it draws it away because it doesn't want to be left out, right? And then samadhi, once you have gotten all those steps in that order and mastered every single step, then and only then will you live in what we call bliss, total bliss, right? Now some days we are in bliss. We just don't stop to realize it. It's like everything's going, today is a blissful day. Oh my goodness, it's an awesome, amazing day, right? Everything is going right. And we think, oh, and then we go and ruin it by, oh, I wonder, too many good things, that's not good. And then we push ourselves all the way down, right? So we have to take time to celebrate that one time, that one day. Wow, I'm focused on this. Wow, this is really good, right? What happens is society has indoctrinated us to focus on everything that is bad in this world. Everything. How many of you don't believe me? Let me tell you why. Who has turned on the Good News channel lately?
Not much do for the same reason.
Right? Right? Somebody's either getting killed, somebody's either getting shot at, somebody's getting this, somebody's getting that, and they're all bad things, and somebody's swindling somebody, and and the list goes on, right?